the podcast dedicated to all things painless dent repair. From the latest techniques to cutting-edge tools, we dive into engaging discussions with renowned dent repair experts. Buckle up for industry success stories, tool reviews, and valuable insights from individuals who have mastered the art of eliminating dents without a trace. And now here's your hosts, dent repair gurus Ryan Shutt and Alex Kukulis.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Dent Digest 100 or 200, right? Where are we? 293, I believe.
Wow.
No, 193. I'm sorry, 193. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like number 20 for me.
You know, 5 years, bro. 5 years.
Long time.
Crazy. You crazy asses are still watching this thing. That's on you. So what's up, Alex?
Man, it's hot over in Arizona.
Yeah.
And humid, so I'm not used to that.
Would you rather have snow?
No.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I remember you telling me you had to keep your tabs in your pocket.
Oh, we do that in the winter. We do that. We still do that in the shop sometimes because we keep it so cold.
Yeah.
You know, we're in the shop. It's like 68 degrees, 69 degrees, and we're torching a panel so we can get glue to stick to it because it's too freaking cold, but it's okay.
Man, you were telling me about a new tool you saw.
Yeah, Kiko came up with that panel freezer, and I don't even remember what the name was. I looked at it and I was like, okay.
It's supposed to like cool down the panel.
Yeah, it's see if I can pull it up here. Hold on. It's like a thing that'll put a cold blast while you do glue to try to dry the glue quicker.
Huh.
The Vortex Cooler is what it's called.
Okay.
Quick cooling, adjustable cooling tube, magnetic base on-off valve. Now, the only bad thing that I do see with this product, and this is me being as real as I can be, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
But you need an air compressor.
Yeah. Do you have one at your shop?
I do. I think
most.
But my shop's cold already.
Yeah.
My shop's chilly. So I thought it was a great idea. I was like, man, they just totally lost the mobile guys.
Yeah. You have to have like a controlled environment because you do PPF though, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of dent shops, like dent shops, they don't have AC in their shop.
I think the other thing is I'm fat and I'm old and, you know, I've worked really hard to get AC, so it's you know, but it's brutal. You know, I mean, even Josh is like, "Oh my God, so hot today," because you know he works in the shop too. So
yeah,
we're both spoiled. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm pretty spoiled because I've been working in where I work a lot. I am able to be in shade now, and I had to go to a body shop for Dave because he's out of town. And I had to use a Get a Grip. They had like no spot for me inside.
I'll tell you, Jack's Dent Repair has a badass umbrella set up on the back of his truck.
Jack's Dent Repair?
Yeah. Great setup back there. You know.
Oh, he's using like a patio umbrella.
Yeah, but it's a great setup back there.
I do that.
Adjustable.
I do that as well, but in this situation, like I could only like pull my truck in. And that was it. And then I had to work where the car was. And it was 117 degrees out. So I was just like dying.
You wear long sleeves?
I don't. I should.
Have you ever thought about like those fishing arm covers? So you don't, you know, I mean, I know like here, like today it was 90 some degrees and you touch that belt mold and you're like, holy shit, it's brutal, you know? So
I know. I used to when I didn't like I had to make my own shade. I always had long sleeves on but I just haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Again, so
but no, it's been, you know, dents are just bad, dude. Like just the worst dents we've been getting. Me and Josh are like, can we just fix like a really bad body line dent and not a crushed panel? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I had a really easy dent, was a little fender dent on a Honda Accord that I posted on my Instagram. That was probably the easiest dent we've had.
The days of door dinging are gone.
Bro,
You know,
it's
I remember
so brutal.
when I started, like a palm-sized dent was a big dent.
Yes.
You know, like
yes. I mean, it's I don't know. Like, and some of them are like, I have a really good customer, Rough Roofers, and I've been doing their work for 20 years, man. You know, they're a really big roofing company here, and everything they have is red. I hate working on red cars. Something about red is it's hard to see, it's hard to judge. You know, it's just hard
Red's
for me.
if it has a lot of pearl in it, like any color with a lot of pearl or flake in the paint, you gotta be careful. You know, that's where I use that Glexo Magic. You ever use that stuff?
I have here and there.
Dude, I had to use it today, and on the box it says like don't inhale it because I get
Yeah.
so like I'm always weird about it. Like it can't be good for you, right?
No.
And I'm doing it. I'm outside. I'm not inside, and like I
It's
got
got a terrible smell.
yeah, and I like accidentally got a whiff of it, and dude, it started to make me feel like sick right away. I try not to use it, but sometimes like it works really well.
Yeah.
But I don't know why there's that warning on the box, you know?
Well, I mean, it reminds me of some resin, because there's some resins out there that you add, you know, blacklight to it.
Like for interior repairs and stuff.
Yeah. So, but
it steams like when you use that.
Yeah,
black
because
light, you see that, right?
Yeah, it's curing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's some wild stuff.
But at Kiko dropped a bunch of stuff this week. Some good stuff. Oh, their new pulling tower looks really good too. It's got some pretty good features to it. I liked it, and it was weird because Mikey's been on vacation, and he said, "This is what we need to make. We need to make a pull tower, and it goes from side to side instead of this way."
Yeah.
Right. So if you get it to go side to side, and Kiko did it.
Wow.
So that
I thought it went back and forth. It goes side to side. It goes both
side
ways.
to side. It doesn't go forward. It's just straight up and down with the strap, and then it has an arm, but then it moves from side to side. So if you're pulling, say, the lower part of a say an edge on a dog leg, you can bring it down to it, and you're pulling direct instead of. It's a better angle, like a frame machine.
It like suctions to the floor just like the Kamado, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's as light as the Kamado one, because that Kamado one's pretty light for like being mobile.
I don't know.
You know, I definitely
Chris White, you got to send me one of those. I'll let you know how light it is. He's not watching this.
No.
But no, man, I go on vacation tomorrow. I leave midday. I'm ready to go and
Christopher
get away.
Allen says he's getting that tower soon, so maybe he could tell us how light.
See, I'm not connected anymore. I'm just a little guy over here.
Yeah.
You know. So, but no, man, it's been dents have been brutal, just bad stuff, and you know they yell. The guys at the shop yell at me all the time. They're like, Ryan says yes to every deal. You know what I mean? I'm like, if I'm not fixing it, somebody else is going to try to fix it.
It's hard not to be a yes man in like our business. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what I'm having trouble with? I'm sorry. I'm yawning all over the place tonight. I'm really good at setting expectations.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, look, this thing really needs a door, but I think I can get it 75, 80%. I think he'll be really happy. Or like we had a Jeep door, new Jeep door. He hit a pole through the lower body line. It was like this wide, and it has the scratches, high metallic silver. I told him I'll wet sand and buff what I can. It'll get rid of some of these. Some of these are still going to be here. We'll touch up what we can. The problem with the touch up is it's going to look dark, right? Silvers always look dark when they're touched up.
Yeah.
Fix this car, and it took me way longer than I expected. Access sucked. I mean, we took the door off. It just was a lot more difficult than I expected. Josh is like, he laughs sometimes because he's like, look at the old dog getting schooled over there. Look at him getting schooled. I got 38 tools on the ground trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Was it high strength steel?
I didn't even know. It wasn't aluminum. But it pushed nice. It pushed great. But it was like where the access was with the damage through the body line. Like we had to use a mini Kiko bridge to pull some of the body line, get the crown. Like it just was tough. But he came to pick it up today, and he's like, he's like, I thought the touch up would look better. And it needed probably 15 or 20 hours body repair. Like it was crushed. Wow. And I was like, well, I explained to you. I said, he's like, what about these upper lines that I wet sanded, and they were kind of whitish, right? They were like not through the base, but it was definitely damaged to clear. And I was like, you see the darker spots down low? He's like, yeah. I said, that's the touch up. I can touch these upper ones up, but they're going to be dark. I'd rather them be light, because if you step from either angle, you didn't see them, but when you stood right on it, you could see it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's just one of those things. I feel like people are hearing what they want to hear right now.
That's for sure.
Or I'm like, hey, come by the shop. Let me take a look at the car just to see the damage. I've been really trying to get people to just come to the shop and let me see it. And they'll come and they'll be like, oh, I thought you were fixing it. No, I never said that. I always tell them, look, we're going to look at the vehicle, then we'll schedule you in for repair. So,
yeah, I stopped telling people percentages. I'll say, yeah, I could make a major improvement.
Difference. Yeah,
major improvement is what I say now. And like, I'll show them a video. Like I'll sometimes, like in wholesale, I'll get a dent to like 85%. And everyone's like percentages, every dent guy's percentage is different. So
yeah,
like I'll show them mine and I'll point out like the flaws in the video. And that I'll be like, this is what you're going to get for $650 instead of $1,600.
Exactly.
So it's a big.
And this was a lease. The guy's like, when he dropped off, he's like, as long as it looks better, I'm fine. And I'm like,
yeah,
I just spent like 7 hours on your dent, and it looks way better.
Yeah. When you do improvement repairs, do you like make them sign? Like, do you put a waiver thing? Like a lot of guys will put a waiver thing in their signature on Mobile Tech RX.
Well, so when they sign the invoice, there, right? You've got to realize this. When you start having people sign a million waivers, it's when they're really uneasy. Really unsecure. I make them sign glue pulling waiver, even though it's, I don't know how much it would actually stand up in court. But
I don't think you'd win. I think you'd lose. But I've never had someone sign a waiver. So if they complain, I usually just
Yeah, like this one I didn't discount. He was like, I get it. He's like, the dent looks great. The scratches are what they are. I said, just step over here. They look gone. It's like a hologram. So
yeah, I try and look for red flags in the beginning, like the first conversation with the customer, because you know what I mean. I was talking to a buddy about this. And there's a lot of red flags that it might not be worth your time, but you can't do that with every red flag.
No,
that's what he was.
So hard. You know what I mean? It's so hard to.
Yeah, I feel like
break that down.
There's a big clientele that thinks we're just $50 still.
Still, I get it all the time. Yeah. Like you'll give a guy an estimate. Okay, you're looking in between 250, 300. They're like, oh,
the last guy was
drive to your house. You want me to drive to your house and fix your car for $20?
Yeah,
this is 2024. You can't even get a bag of cereal for $6. Yeah.
I get a buzz cut. It's $50.
What the hell, man? And I just said this to Josh on Monday. I said, you know what? I'm having a real trouble. I've been in this 25 some years. I'm having trouble. I really feel like our repairs, our industry is so discredited.
For sure.
Right? Like we just don't get the credit for what we do. But I think that comes with time. You know what I mean? Like everybody wants it. We're in the now culture, right? We're in that Amazon world of we want it now and we want it cheap and we want to find the best. And well, sometimes you can't get fast, cheap, the best at the same time. Right?
Quality and cheap just don't go together.
No, it's just and I don't think we get the credit of like this shit is hard. You're not just sticking. I'm so tired of hearing the suction machine. God damn it. You find a suction machine, I will pay you $1 million.
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
I said I told a guy this a couple weeks ago. I said the only suction machine I got has 2 lips in it, and I use a straw.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at me like I had 300 heads. You know what I mean? He's like, "What is this guy talking about?" Sometimes I just want to walk out there in our like waiting room with a straw in my mouth and be like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna suck this thing out for you."
Over on last Saturday, I went and did a retail at a person's house, and his 14-year-old son was brought up the info commercials of how, you just burn the glue sticks and put it on the car and it fixes it. And I'm just like, yeah, man, like I could teach anyone, my 7-year-old nephew, how to improve a dent real fast. But
do you know how rich we would be?
Orange peel is what?
You know how rich we would be? I would have 300 people working for me, and I would just sit back and be like, you get one glue stick, you get one glue stick, you get one glue stick. Like, geez.
You'd be on a yacht with Kevin Bird.
Geez, you're right, man. I wish I had Kevin Bird's life. He's got it made over there. And I got a problem with Kevin Bird. We're going to say this out.
Yeah.
If he keeps stealing texts from Maryland, we're going to have a real problem. I'm going to come down to Tampa, and we're going to have to handle this.
I think you're the only person in the industry that has a problem with Kevin Bird.
He gets me all the time, right? Because he took a tech from Maryland, and he was actually in Florida, but he's working with them, and he was a good tech. He's a local guy, great guy, and every now and then I'll wake up and there's a picture of him with him, and I'm just like, you mother.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, hey, did Pete turn in his 2 weeks yet? He's like, what do you mean? I said, he's moving home. He wants to enjoy this 2-hour drive.
At MT, he was on the show, and he was saying how he's not going back.
He's not. Pete's
he ain't even gonna stop when he drives through.
Nope. So,
what's up, Jax?
But no, man, it's just business is different. You know what I mean? I feel like people that have money are finally starting to hold it. I think the election stuff's starting to freak them out a little bit. Our port just opened back up, so that'll be a big help for us.
That's good.
So Mikey's got to go to the port and do some damage units on Monday, so that's exciting.
What's he doing there?
Paint protection film. So he does paint protection film down there.
Nice.
And they're every day, every morning. And every day I keep getting an email from him like, hey, I'm adding another unit. Hey, I'm adding, because you got to remember with that port being closed, they had to logistically move cars more than they usually do. So they usually come off the boat, they get parked in the lot, then they get on car hauler and shipped. Well, now they were shipping them from a farther location, shipping them to another location, shipping them to a holding facility, and then shipping them to the dealer. So a lot more movement. So he's like, send me another message today. I was like, how many we got, Mike? He's like, I'm thinking like 13. I'm like, geez, bro.
Wow.
Isn't
that the biggest vehicle port on the East Coast?
Yeah, it's big
for new cars. Yeah.
It's really fun from what it's been like for the last 3 months. It's really fun because I pretty much, the road I have to take now, I drive almost through the port, right? Like the port's on either side and the tunnel comes through. It's really fun to watch all the cars. Like, it is packed now. Like,
wow,
packed. Like before COVID, packed.
Yeah. I think you bring COVID up. I think stuff's starting to like get normal again pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
I feel like I feel like people suck. Yeah, I do. I really do. That's
why I said people suck and dogs rule.
It's people just don't
not
care.
All people suck, but
not all of them. But there's a lot of them. Like, during the pandemic, when we reopened and went mobile, people were like, hey, you guys want a bottle of water? I got this fan set up for you. Now it's like, what do you mean you need to use my garage and we're in the middle of a monsoon? What do you mean? Like, what the hell? I'll pack my shit and go home. I don't care.
Yeah.
We got enough work, right? Like, so I don't know. It's just people just suck, dude. People not showing up. July 1st, we're starting deposits. I'm doing something I always said I would never do. And taking deposits for everything now.
Yeah, I think
I'm
that's
tired
smart,
of the
especially having a
only
shop.
problem with that. It still is an issue, right?
Yeah.
Because you schedule with me, I charge you a $50 or $100 deposit, right?
Mm-hmm.
For one, you have to keep track of it. You can do it in Mobile Tech RX, but you still have to keep track of it, right? The other thing is that guy could still call and want to reschedule. So then you're already out that time slot during that day. Granted, you have his money, but he wants to reschedule for another day. So it's still kind of a double-edged sword. But I feel like, I mean, I just had a guy come in yesterday for paint protection film, and the dealer drove him down and went through this whole thing. It was like $4,200. And I was like, okay, well, he's like, what's your next available? I'm like, Friday, whatever the date is. And he's like, okay, I'll take that date. And I was like, okay, well, to schedule this date, it's $500 deposit. Oh, well, I'm gonna have to come back. I'm like, you just wasted an hour of my time.
Yep.
So, but
yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
what it is,
I don't charge deposits for retail jobs, but I don't do I'm probably like 20% retail right now, 25%. But when it hails here, I will not do a hail estimate without a $250 deposit. And I get called from all these body shops I've never been to. Oh, they just get my number off Google. Well, I'm going to charge a $250 deposit, but it'll come off my estimate when I fix the car. Most of them just hang up on me.
Yeah. I mean, I get them all the time, and we're at 150. But usually when they get into the shop, they're sold, right? Like as soon as they come in and we walk them through the process, and they're usually sold by then. So, but I want to get our guest on. Dwayne is a great dude. When I bring him on, we'll go through what I'm gonna bring him on. I hope he's getting enough to drink right now and hydrating himself. So,
what's up, Brandon?
What's up, Dwayne?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
We're good.
I'm not as good as you. I'm not having one beer after the next, but
Hey, I mean,
I warned
sitting
you
in the green room, listening to y'all, and you did warn me. You did.
Is it
So-
Coors Light?
It's Miller.
Miller Light?
Miller. That's
Miller
what they
Lite,
do.
yeah.
That's what they do down there in
Texas.
Maybe, can't complain.
No.
After
So,
work and
Are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you doing hail damage in Texas? Why are you in Texas?
So, yeah. So I'm on my first round with some chasing hail. So
nice.
It's my first experience doing it. So
it's funny
really great
because it
so
was last month when we talked on the phone, and you're like, I'm really thinking about going down to Chris's place. What do you?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you couldn't ask for a better group of guys. Go, like, whatever you got to do, go.
And you're right. It's kind of a blessing and a curse. I talked to John Yeager about it, and he said, dude, just don't get spoiled. And I may be getting spoiled. So the next round with wherever I go, maybe a different story.
If you watch, right, like you're looking at the hail groups, and you look at Chris Nichols, and you look at all those guys are all kind of working together, right? Like,
oh, for sure, yeah.
They're all kind of John Yeager and all those boys, and Brendan, and all those guys are kind of in the same clique. So when the shit hits the fan, they go there. So you may be with that group of guys
That's awesome.
for some time.
Which, I'm not mad at, and I've never really been looking for handouts or anything like that. And it's always been, I want to earn it, and coming down here and giving this opportunity, which before I came here, I actually had a really good position. However, it didn't expand my knowledge within PDR. So, and also, and I think I've heard you guys talk about it before, maybe other platforms, whatever, but whenever you're around other hail techs or PDR techs, you feed off of them.
100%.
And where I was before, it was just me.
Yeah.
And everybody looked at me like I was the golden child, It's like, man, like, you're awesome. It's like, buddy, like, you don't know what other people can do out there, you know, like, I'm just a dude in a factory, you know, like, you don't know me all that, you know, but it's,
I've heard John Yeager's a rock star hail tech.
John Yeager's just a rock star, period. I think Kevin Bird really doesn't know that John Yeager is on his heels. You know, if John Yeager could perfect the selfie, I think Kevin Bird
I think John has better hair. I think John has better hair than
John. I mean, John they're about the same height. Charisma's there. It would be a showdown for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh man.
So that's something's funny. Crazy is we talked about this backstage. 2019, I had him on the show.
Yeah.
And you know, you were still, I believe, working at GM.
I was on the tail end of it. Yeah.
Where did we meet originally? Was it the Hail Expo?
Personally, yes. However, you was still on that other
Chris's show.
So my name got on there. Was getting that around whenever you was on that other podcast. You know? Yeah.
Chris's show.
And John and I came down to MTE that year, and that's when I started meeting everybody.
Hail Expo is where I met you first.
Yeah. Are you sure?
I think
so.
Vegas?
I want to say it was MTE and then Hail Expo.
Maybe.
Yeah. Which they don't have the Hail Expo anymore, I don't think.
They don't. And that was really good. I thought that was great.
Really I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than educational day than, if I must be honest. Yeah.
So did I.
It was a slew of information.
Yes. It was. So
he's laughing.
Give it was, dude. It was a badass event.
Really?
It was.
I say it all really the time. Good. It was totally different than
they don't do it anymore, right?
Anything that I've ever been to. Yeah. It was like a big round table of just.
Who put that together? I forget. I was trying
Ryan
to think
Hampton.
His name. Good. That's who it was. Yeah. I think after that he kind of not fell off the radar, but I think he kind of like just pulled himself away from a lot of this stuff.
Well, we got into that hybrid body shop thing of like PDR and smart repair stuff.
Right.
So you know, and he has a couple partners involved. So I don't know what all that entails because I'm not in that ream, but you know, it was a great event.
Yeah. Well, real quick, I got to say this. I told my daughter I'd give her a shout out. So hello, Shiloh. Back at home. I'll see you next week. I love you. And another shout out. It's Michael J. Hidrago's birthday. So happy birthday.
Is it
really? To the fellow Texan. Yeah.
Look at that. I didn't even know that. Didn't even know that. I should. I wish I could. It'd be funny if I could bring him
your
on
social
right
media
now.
presence. You shouldn't pay somebody to do your social media. You know, it's just not as.
You know what it is?
Pure.
And Alex has seen it. I run around all day. Like my ass is on fire. An average
about that high.
Yeah, an average repair that would take somebody like 3 hours takes me like 6 to 10 hours because Ryan, look at this. Ryan, go. You know, it's freaking crazy over there. It's just a different animal.
It's very fast moving.
I mean, I hear, and I've always wanted like a retail shop in the storefront and everything, but I hear like you and Andy and maybe not so much Chris, but it's just like they're slowly like moving out of PDR and becoming management, and it's like, man, I don't know if I want to go there or not.
I'm ready.
I don't want to do if I did a shop, I'd do like a smart shop. You know what I mean? Like what Ryan Hampton's doing, but I don't want to lose my freedom. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be tied down to it. You open a shop, you have to be there. And when you're not there is when stuff goes wrong.
That's like today. I wanted to go get a haircut and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you know, go get one. When I get a little bushy right here, it looks really bad. You know, when this gets bushing it out and
starts curling out.
They're like, hat. just go after you get off work. And I'm like, bro, it takes me 2 hours to get home. Nobody cuts hair at 8 o'clock.
I'm pretty sure it was at the Hail Expo whenever the fire alarm went off at like 3 a.m, and I forget who was making fun of you, but you showed up outside.
Chris White.
You showed up outside in your hoodie, your zip up hoodie with your hat on, and he sat there. What did he say? That I'm pretty sure Ryan sleeps
Yes.
in
He
his
did.
clothes.
He
Yeah.
did. Chris White. There's like, I don't know how many people in there, and he like points me out of the crowd, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Jesus.
That was pretty good.
That was a great time. That was a great time. So,
Man, that was in 2019.
yeah.
It was around there. Yeah.
Sounds fun.
So with you were military. Let's get into your
Yes.
story a little bit, because you got a pretty good and rough run here. But
Okay.
we'll put it on the speed fast version.
All right. So I guess just the beans and bullets. I spent about 15 years in the military as an infantryman, two deployments, 3 kids, been married for almost 15 years now. This year will be 15 years. And wife's in the Navy now, so I got out, wife went in the Navy, and that's when I was on the last podcast, whenever she was off to training and I was stay-at-home dad. So since then, my plan then was to leave General Motors and get into chasing. Like, that was my real dream, right? And it kind of just fell through. Whenever she got home, we ended up finding a house in a neighboring county. And so we moved in right before COVID hit. And it was just like, okay, well, let's renovate the house. And that's what we did. While we was doing that, a buddy of mine who was also a veteran started a tree company. I was like, hey man, if you need some help, just let me know. And by this time I've already left General Motors. And I just kind of started out just by helping him do tree work, and slowly I fell in love with it, like the risk factor, the whole.
You're fucking crazy.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it's
you military
wild.
boys. You military boys.
Well, me and my buddy, we always joke about how we're blue collar sluts is what it is. Like, we just want to learn all the blue collar trades, so it's fascinating.
Did you like using the tree stump cutter?
Yeah, so we had stump grinders, we climbed trees, we had cranes, knuckle booms, everything but helicopters, pretty much, so it was fun. We did a little storm chasing, chasing tornadoes up in Kentucky and hurricanes down in Florida. It was exciting. It was really fun to learn. Obviously a risk factor.
Did it pay well?
So it didn't hurt me any from where I was before. However, like, it was very flexible. Some days I'd be home at 12. Wow. Noon. So like, we'd go do a job and it's like, okay, well, we're done. We'd get paid for a full day. So like, in some aspects, I'm not complaining about it at all. It gave me a lot of at-home time.
But it's not like doing hail damage.
The money aspect is not the same. No. However, the downside to the what I'm doing now, chasing hail for the first month, I've only been doing it for a month. It's obviously the away from home time is the worst. But so after, during the tree work, I was doing that for about 3 years. And John, I feel bad. And John Yeager told me, he's like, hey man, just don't stop doing hail. Whatever you do, don't stop doing PDR. Whatever you do, don't stop doing PDR.
So John trained you, correct?
Yes, he trained me in the factory. In the factory, yeah. And so I'm like, I won't stop doing PDR. Well, lo and behold, I did. For about 3 years, I stopped doing PDR. I would do onesie twosie here and there, but nothing serious. And so the tools kind of got dusty. At one point, I damn near sold all my tools.
Wow.
And actually, Brendan Yeager bought my hail light and my Carbon Tech hail rod. So, and he's down here with me. So, I almost got out of it completely. Luckily, I didn't. Because while I was, doing tree work, I started complaining about my leg hurting, my knee hurting and everything. Yeah. And I thought it was just my knee. And it's about 1.5 years, 2 years, I just still grind it out, whatever, wake up and go to work, come home and handle business. And it got to the point to where, the swelling was coming around the top of my leg and I couldn't fully like bend my leg anymore, my knee. So I was like, okay, well, cool. I'll just go to the doc and get some x-rays, So with my insurance, I've got to go to the doc and get referrals and all this other stuff. So, I've got to play the game, the system. So finally, after 3 months of running around with the doctor, I finally get to a bony joint clinic. And I'm like, yeah, look at me. I'm a big boy taking care of myself. It's something that I don't usually do. But so they sent me back and got some x-rays. And so I come back to the doctor's office after the x-rays. And he's like, so it's not your knee. And it's, it's like, I've never seen this before. And I'm like, automatic red flags, I'm like, crap, automatic, like you just, you sink a little. And and so he tells me that he has to send me, and this is a bone doctor, like this is what he does for a living, and for him to tell me that he's never seen this before is like, okay, pretty concerning, So he sends me back and gets more x-rays, and it's on my femur, and lo and behold, I've got a 6-inch mass on my femur bone. Of course they do like centimeters and all this other stuff. So I just kind of, Americanize it and make it sound like a Walmart water bottle that's in a teardrop form, so that's about the size of it. So it was rather large in my leg, and it's been there for a while. So
was it, what was it? Was it cancerous?
So from there, I didn't really know. The doctor who took my x-rays, while he was looking at the x-rays, he was talking to a doctor at Vanderbilt, and her name's Dr. Holt, and complete rock star. Love her, and I'm sad that she's no longer at Vanderbilt. But she said, yeah, it looks like parosteal osteosarcoma. I think I said that it's either parosteal or peristeal. I don't know. So anything with, like, for the most part, that says osteo or sarcoma in it is bad news. So I left the doctor thinking, like, crap, dude. Like, I went in there thinking I was going to get a cortisone shot, like,
yeah.
And now I've got a mass in my leg, a tumor. Like, what the heck? And at that time, like, my wife just started nursing school, and she's in accelerated nursing school. So, like, there is no missing days, no showing up late, like, very strict. And, so I kind of had to just kind of go home alone that night because my wife's staying in Nashville, and I just had to eat every bit of that of going, like, what's next? I have no idea.
Did you tell her right away, or?
I called her that night. Yeah. And she was up in Nashville, and, like, she had school, like, and stay there, like, just, it'll be fine. So, and the weird thing about it is, like, for a year before that, like, I'm sitting there, like, grabbing my leg, and my wife's like, you okay? I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's probably cancer. Lo and behold, it was cancer. And wow. So I guess I primed myself for a little bit. My dark humor actually, just karma'd me, So it was a weird situation. But from January 17th, I think is when they found it.
What went through your head that night?
Yeah.
I'm digging deep. I told you to drink more.
Yeah, dude. No. What went through my head was uncertainty. It was just, it was a total shock, man. It was just, that's the moment, like, whenever you're watching a movie and you see somebody who's, like, drowning and all of a sudden their life flashes through their eyes. Yeah. That's what it was. It's like, damn, like, I've got a daughter who's going to walk her down the aisle, you know, like I've got kids, I've got boys, you know, who's going to watch them play football, you know, and my wife, you know, what is she going to do, you know? And it was just the uncertainty, you know, and it turns into something that, and I think, you know, like you and I talked about it, Ryan, before the show was just that level of, okay, I'm no longer in control. There is nothing I can do besides listen to the doctors and abide, you know, and just go through the motions. And at that point, everything was still very unknown. I didn't even have a biopsy at that time. But you know, later I did go get a biopsy, and it was cancer. You know, it was bone cancer. And obviously the only way to get rid of it is to cut the bone out. So, it was a ride. They ended up, March 9th, I had surgery. They ended up taking 8 or 9 inches of my femur and getting a brand new knee.
Man.
Yeah. So going from, I want to say it was like 58 days total from finding the tumor to being cancer-free, a range of emotions from, you know, from here to, you know, the very tip top to the lowest. And it was just, it's a lot to take in such a, you know, short amount of time.
They were able to just cut it out. You didn't have to do chemo or nothing.
Luckily, I was not a proper cancer patient. Yeah. So no radiology, no chemo, no nothing like that. Just, I'm still paying for it right now just because, you know, my leg does funny stuff, but it looks funny and it does funny stuff. But going from a person who is extremely active and being, you know, coaching my son's football team and being able to run and sprint to all of a sudden, you know, you buckle when you walk, you know, sometimes. So it's just, it's wild. Yeah.
Is it a problem standing on ladders, like fixing roofs, doing hill this month? Or is it solid?
Well, I put my Christmas lights up this year or last year, so
You're good.
I probably did a lot of stuff I wasn't supposed to do, but I mean, yes, it is a problem. Like I'm slower, you know, like I'm way more cautious. And that's one thing that brings up a good point. Like after all this and after my surgery, like I was out of work for 5 months, you know, so I couldn't going from like the breadwinner to nothing.
Well, you were also struggling. I remember talking to you because Yeager called me. He's like, "You should call Dwayne," and I could tell you were in it. You know, mentally just trying to navigate. Well, you know what you were gonna do.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like mentally, you go from you know, somebody who can accomplish anything, right, to all of a sudden now you feel like you're a liability, you know, like you feel like everybody views you like if you was to go apply for a job, it's like, well, you know, like here, you know, I'm disabled a little bit, you know. At that time I was way worse. But still, even if like it's like, hey man, like you're up and walking, you know, like you're fine, dude. It's still like, you know, a bit of pride, a bit of ego, you know, but it's just one of those things. It's like you have to like be able to be in the positions to know that you're okay. You know, you have to put yourself in uncomfortable positions in order to grow back from something like this. And it's like, and I think one of the biggest things was, I think I was still out of work at the time, and it was my son's birthday, Elijah. He's back at home now too. And he wanted to go rock climbing at an indoor rock climbing facility. And this was August. So I went from surgery in March to August, however many months that is. And we get there and the whole family's there, just all 5 of us, and all of them get their harnesses and everything. And it's like $16 a person. And so like, they're like, you want to? And I'm like, no, I can't, you know? And that's what I kept saying. It's like, I can't. And I was like, you know what? I've wasted $16 on more shit before. So I was like, screw it. Give me a harness, give me some shoes. And I did it. I flat out did it. I just sat there. I was holding myself back more than anything. And, but also like it was hard for me to trust myself, you know, like,
Yeah.
one of the things was like, whenever they told me that I was cancer free, they're like, hey, you're cancer free. You know, like they sent my bone off to the lab and it wasn't in my marrow, which is awesome because I'd have probably been a goner if it was.
Yeah.
So, they told me I was cancer free and, you know, I announced it and everybody's all like, oh yeah, bravo, you know, and I'm sitting there thinking, it's like, yeah, it's like, I still have something in me that can't trust my own body. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's everybody else is cheering. It's like, oh, thank goodness, you know, thank God and all this. But I'm sitting there going like, it's not the same for me as it is for y'all. You know,
Yeah.
I can't,
Did you
something
feel
foreign
like
grew inside of me, but
your body like betrayed you? Like, yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Do you think
100%.
that was a turning point?
It took some months, but
do you think that moment you were like, okay,
nah. What do you mean, like turning point for what?
for when you started, when you got to do the rock climbing and you were like, okay, you were holding yourself back.
That was a step. That was definitely a step. That was a
Yeah.
huge step. Yeah, 100%. You know, because I coached my son's football team and stuff, and I sit there and I told, you know, all these other kids' parents and stuff, so like, hey, you coaching again? I was like, I don't know if I can, and all this, and probably not, you know, but the rock climbing was the stepping stone, and then I went and coached football again. You know, granted, I couldn't get out there and be like the demonstrator for certain drills, but the thing is that I actually did it. You know, I sat there and I told myself that I could. I was holding myself back more than anything, and it wasn't good for me, but obviously, just going, try it, dude.
Jaeger
What do you got to
sucks.
lose now? You know,
Jaeger
does suck, really,
sucks.
He's
late.
always late. He's
You
late to text me,
slacker.
late to call me back. He's late to everything.
That's funny.
Except for a good meal, I bet. But no, so with all that said, you know, so after my cancer, I actually, you know, I was looking for a job, and I actually got a job at the city of Franklin in Tennessee, which is a pretty bougie city, you know, and I worked there for about 3 months, and I had a strange company like send me an email like, or call me saying, hey, do you still do PDR? And I'm like, well, maybe. And they're like, so could you, like, you know, like, we got a job down in Alabama. Like, could you, you know, go down there and do some PDR? And I was like, so like, all right. So first of all, like, who are you? And, you know, like, let's get down to are you a real company and all this, you know, so obviously I'm Googling and everything, but it was a company called FormLD who works kind of like Solution Works, and that legit. I mean, I'm not mad at that company at all. They got me back in it, and I took a chance. I left home, went down to Montgomery, Alabama, worked in the Hyundai plant, and granted, it was in a plant again, but I was comfortable with that, you know, because that's where I come from. That's kind of my background. So, you know, 3-month contract, and that ends, and then they add on. I'm like, okay, all right. So I made, going from nothing the year before and taking a chance on some company that I've never heard of, really put me back in it, and it gave me enough confidence to get back into PDR and to move forward. And then from there, it's just like, you know what? Hey, let's take another chance. Let's do it. Life's too short now for me to say no.
Exactly.
So let's just keep going. You know.
Do you think that helped you? Your whole situation helped you get to that point when you're like, okay, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to take this
100%.
chance too.
100%. 100%.
That's awesome.
And I've discussed it with a few people, but it's kind of hard. There's no way I would have ever said this last year, but this year I can honestly say that my cancer is probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me. regardless of my ability,
Yeah. Change the way you think about life and everyday situations.
It's
a mindset.
Yeah.
It has opened up. It's forced me, man. It's forced my hand to go, like. And then since I took that job down in in Montgomery, I was making pretty decent money. And I told my wife, I said, I can't just, if this contract ends, I can't just come home and make $1,000 a week. I can't do it. I can't go backwards now. I've got to move forward. So here I am taking chances, and luckily Chris, Brendan, they invited me down here, and I have, honestly, I can say I fell back in love with it. I love it. I've got the motivation. I've got the grind. It's been a true blessing for sure. 100%.
That's awesome, man.
I'm
I
about
think
Go ahead.
I think you're with like one of the best groups of guys in Hale. From what I've
100%.
heard, like they're all those guys are rock stars, man. So
100%. Yeah. I'm learning a lot, and it's a different game, completely different game. So like all the tools that you was used to using in whatever it is, oh yeah, just you ain't using those. Just
start over, baby. Hell yeah.
Get another kit, because get ready to spend some money, because. And I'm sitting there thinking, it's like, dang, I wish I would have got all this at MTE. It'd have been way cheaper, but no, it's all good though. It's super great opportunity, man. And I love it, and this is great. So yeah.
what Hale rod are you using?
That's Carbon Tech.
Carbon Tech.
Yeah. I don't know of any other,
It's the best.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and buy what I want. If I'm gonna spend money on something, I'm either gonna wait until I have the money for it, and not have it until then, instead of just like trying to rush the process and get something cheap and not be happy with it.
Yeah.
So no, I've been taking notes from everybody around here about tools, but that's the thing about Hale. There's 15 different Hale guys here, and they're all like, oh yeah, use this tip. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do this, do that. And you're like, and then the other guy's like, oh, you should try this, try that. And
Don't do that. Do this.
You're like, boys, I ain't got enough money for all these tools.
Yeah.
I ain't got it. So it's I will say in Hales that you've got to find your own groove. Take the recommendations, try them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You might use them on this car, you might not use it on this car.
I think watching good Hale guys, you learn a lot just by watching them.
Well, also watching good Hale guys, you also go, crap. That dude, how in the hell is he doing this?
Yeah.
So we got a guy here. I'm not gonna say his name or anything, but he's damn, he's solid. And then you see other techs who's like, 10 years in, 11 years, 15 years in, and they're like, geez, who is this guy? Well, he's got like a PDR solutions or a pro solution, PDR car with like 15 tools on it, right? It's like this big. And that's it. That's all he's got. And he's got a Hale rod over there, and he blows through about, on average 2.5 cars a day. And you're working on the roof from 3 days ago, and you're going, and
the less tools.
It's smooth. He's smooth, man. He does it.
Who is it?
You won't know.
Having less tools makes you more efficient because you don't have to find your tool. Like you just grab it real quick, boom.
I've watched. I hustled him quite a bit, and it's been one of those. It's like, you know what? Stop looking for tools. Just pull the glue out, man. Just glue the hell out of it. Just be done with it. Just.
Yeah.
I will say the AR glue, the slide hammer for the cold glue. It's money.
Yeah, I have probably 50 stand liner tools. I don't know how many I have. Oh, too many. And I have like the bigger tools, 24 inches and up. I probably only use like 6 or 5 of those.
Yeah.
But, yeah. and I have a ton. But like any of their hand tools, man, they're awesome. If you don't have the fishtails, try those on Hale.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I'm kind of looking at this dude over here with jack shit, and I'm sitting there going, it's like, you know what? His card's light.
Yeah,
he ain't got much going on, and it's just he does it. And then meanwhile, Chris, I'm sure he's listening right now. He's got 15 hammers back here, and he can only use one at a time.
What is your favorite new tool that you've bought?
A favorite new tool? I knew this question would come up. Man, I don't know. I did buy the flat bar from A Better Repair, and that's okay. Awesome.
Jared,
I love that one.
He's a cool dude.
Jared hooked me up on that one. I do love that one, and I will recommend it to. Yeah, there it is. Brendan just said his name. Payday Pay. There it is. There it is. That's his name.
Payday Pay.
I'm telling you. Even John Yeager's like, I don't know if I could really hang with that guy.
Yeah, I remember my dad had a buddy in 2010. What was his name? I think Dave Newman. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of him, but I watched him fix a 2-door coupe, $50 Hale, big Hale, in 8 hours, and it was flawless. I was just like, who is this guy? That was the first real good tech I've ever seen.
It's wild
to watch that. You know,
I've been in it for a month now, and I'm sitting there going, it's like, okay, yeah, we got 2 months worth of work, and then all of a sudden you're watching this guy and you're like, shit, I might have 3 weeks of hell work. I don't know. I'm freaking out. Like, this dude, he pumps them out, and kudos to that guy, man. I love seeing it, and it's a motivation for me. And you ask him, it's like, how long you been doing this? 20 years. You deserve it. You deserve every dent you get, man. You're killing it. You're killing it, and you're pushing us to become better techs, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So just being around it and knowing that the capabilities of it goes beyond what you are now is just you know,
as that old guy. The cool thing, right, on the other side of that roof is watching the young guys watch you work, and you see this.
The light bulbs.
You know what I mean? Like Josh does it periodically. He's like, oh my God.
Josh always has light bulbs going off, though.
True, but still, it's cool to be an old guy watching that just impact somebody young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll show you. I'll send you some videos and pictures of the roof that I'm working on now. There was I'll tell you this. Last week I was handed the roof, or I agreed to try a roof, and I probably shouldn't have. It hurt my feelings a lot, and multiple times. It was a very abusive relationship between me and this roof. But you know, hey, 5 days later, and with the help of multiple techs around here, it was done, and it didn't need painted, and it was saved, and it was a good feeling after it was done. But sheesh, that grind just
right here.
It was a struggle. It really was. Not gonna lie, but it was just kind of one of those things. It's like once it's done, you're going, okay,
I'll never do that again.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It's kind of one of those. I would have a different set of eyes on it now, you know. So I'm never shy of a challenge. So
yeah, you have to be around better guys than you to get better. You know what I mean? Like, you have to.
Yeah.
Like I learned that.
Yeah, but you got techs around you. It's like, man, okay, you doing that? And they look at it and they're like, whew, that's hit pretty hard. Yeah, that's beat. Yeah, and you're sitting there going, it's like, is it? Like, is this beat? And then you get to working on it, and you're like, yeah. Yeah, so it's pretty bad, you know. but it's I mean, it got done. It got done. And I'll tell you this. I was ready for it to get out of my life so much I didn't even take an after video of it. I just drove it to the body shop that it belonged to, and I left it there. I don't even have an after video, just a reminder of what it started out as. But yeah, It's a hard lesson, but a good lesson for sure.
That's funny.
Was it like a hell dent that had like multiple hits in it?
Oh, there was some of those, but there were some really deep shots. There was no sunroof, full rib, wide open, just and you know, those real deep shots that's half under a brace and a half not. So like the center, like you can never really get to. It was just okay. That was really my experiment car. Let me try this tip. Let me try this well tail. Let me try wrapping this tool in some Tessa. That was my experimental car, and I learned quite a bit of what not to do, but I'm not real sure of what to do yet, you know. So it's just one of those.
Dude, the only way about you're never gonna want to fix those type of hell dents, but
no.
But
I think a lot of it's mindset too, right?
For
like
sure.
It's a mental
when
game.
you look at it, you know, I had one last Monday, last week, and it was a Tennessee or Louisiana or something, and it had some big old whoppers in it, and I was like, I don't know, Dodge roof. I don't know if these are going to come out right. And I was like, at the end, I'm like, I'm looking at the manager. She's looking at me, and I was like, I can't believe I just fixed this. Because I was already in my head. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a push to paint. They're going to be scratches. It turned out amazing. It was great.
Yeah.
Did you use any tension on them?
No. I think what helped me was it was 105 degrees it was a lifted Dodge pickup. And I was in the bed. So
when you were done, you couldn't see the roof?
No, I just think that I was in the bed working forward, and I just think the heat really helped me, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? It was just so hot up there. And but sometimes you just sit back, you're like, I can't, I got nothing for you. I don't even know what tools I use to fix it.
Yeah.
So
I'm learning a lot, and I think one of the biggest things is, like, if I can give any kind of advice as being a one month hell tech, I guess, is just push a little bit and move your light. Just move your light. Don't think you can fix the whole damn thing from right there. Just move your light. It's wild, like what it just like doing a carousel around this one damn dent can save you so much trouble.
Well, we go back to this too, is when you're working with other techs, and it's like when Josh and I are at the shop. Hey, take a look at this.
Yep.
Hey, take a look at this. What do you think? Well, why don't you try this? Or, you know, a different set of eyes on it makes all the difference, man. Working with another tech that can actually fix a dent. Josh and I do it all the time. You know, it's amazing. And I'm like, oh my God, I would have never thought about that tool. Yeah. And that helps you grow and helps you speed up. You know, next time you're like, okay, I'm going to use this.
I couldn't tell you how many times I'll be sitting there working on a dent, and B would come walking up and he's like, hey, how you doing, man? And I was like, oh, I'm pretty good. Just grinding away. And he's all like, oh, hey, you need to move your light. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll move my light. You know, after 3 hours of me thinking I can fix this thing from this direction, B's just like, hey, just move your light.
That's gold.
It's so hard to get out of that habit of, like, you know, just working like collision. You can put your light over there and you can work so much stuff. But
they need to make a remote control light, though. Right? Like if you could just remote control it,
Ultra has one.
They did with the light with the light management and stuff, but I don't think it went very far.
It didn't work very well. But dude, that's gold. I mean, another tech breaking bad habits for you. That's huge.
Yes.
That's huge.
It's and I will say this is like going to hell. You learn so much about that I can even take back to, like, just, you know, like if I was to go do, you know, body shop wire, door dings or whatever, like it all goes together. However, it's a different element, you know. It's like
it's different.
I mean, you got like your wholesale guys and then your retail guys and then your hell guys. And then, I mean, in some cases you can even say like your manufacturing guys. Like there's so many different realms of PDR. And people don't even they don't take into consideration that
I think a route guy
at this, maybe not so much at this.
a good route guy and a good hail tech make the best dent guy.
Yeah.
If they do both, I think that makes a really good tech.
And then a retail guy is just
route is wholesale.
Just answering the phone. It's like, hey, it's Ryan Shutt. Hey, can I call you back in like 5 minutes?
7,500.
And then I never call you back. Then I'm like, hey, Dwayne, I'll call you back.
Retail guy.
And every time I get Dwayne on the phone, I'm like, bro, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
like, it's okay.
I'll tell you this. So I think I explained it to John Yeager the other day, and I think I explained it very well, is that, you know, who y'all was and when we met 5 years ago was a different element. So now, 5 years later, I think you guys are getting to that old man's phone stage to where, like, it's fine.
No, he just has multiple employees now, and that's a big curveball.
And what makes me say this is, like, I'll call my dad and my mom will answer. You know, it's like, hey, where's Dad? Oh, he's just outside. And I'm like, what's he doing? Oh, he's like mowing or grilling or whatever. And like, I'll just sit there and have a conversation with my mom, and like, I don't talk to my dad. And my dad just on the weekends just like, yeah, phone's going away. See you later, man. And I think all the dent guys are getting to that now, to where they're just like, to hell with that phone.
Some days. Yesterday I had an issue with a customer, and I was like, I ain't calling him back till today. Usually I'm a bull and I'll jump right in there and deal with it. And I was like, nope, you're not getting that today. Not today. We're having a good day.
You need that sometimes.
It was weird for me. My wife even said it. My wife was like, you okay? And I was like, I'm allowed a good day once in a while. I'm allowed a good day. It's okay. I'll deal with that shit tomorrow.
I think I told Michael Hidrago a few weeks ago that all days are good, some days are good, or, you know, so just remember that. And so asking you, Ryan, with your commute and everything, going to, you know, with the bridge and everything, how's your employees doing?
They live on that side.
Like you too?
No, they live on that side. I'm the only idiot that lives up here.
They live in Glen, Burnie.
So
why don't you just call in sick every day then?
Bro, I actually think about that on the daily.
He's at the beach every other day.
This, you know,
he did say that. Yeah, but the beach ain't going to be so much beachy up there here soon.
You know. But I'm going to tell you, I do want to put this out there because we are getting late on time. I want to tell you how freaking proud I am of you.
Thank you, dude.
Because you've come a long way, bro. 5 years is awesome. Like, you've really grown, and you know, it's I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Even that call,
I'm a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar.
Even that call when you were like, "What do you think? You think it'll be good?" I'm like, "Go." Because worst you could do is pack your shit up and drive home.
You're right. And I actually talked to my wife and my mom about it, and you know, most of the time, the ladies in your life are pretty skeptical of new things, but both of them right off the rip said, go.
I'm just waiting for it to hell here, and I'm like, come on up, bring your fucking camper, let's go.
I ain't staying on your side of the damn bridge, I can tell you that.
There's a campground not far from the shop. You'll be fine.
Nope, I want the beach lot.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I remember hearing you telling me your story at MTE, and I was like, Ryan, we gotta get Dwayne on his story.
And I was like, he's already been on. He's like an old sock. He's fine.
I was like, he's coming on.
And Chris reached out too. I had apologized to him. See, I'm in this apologetic life now. I'm like, I'm old. And I'm like, Chris, I'm sorry. He's like, what do you mean?
Because you see all the violence around you on the streets for 2 hours, 4 hours a day.
Alex hears me daily on the phone. He gets my 2 hour drive home, and I'm like,
I couldn't repeat it on this show.
Well, good.
Oh, shit.
Congratulations on the golden mic this year, boys, and it's been fun. Thanks for the invite for the invite bag. That's awesome. 5 years later.
Hey,
I want you to come back on after a full year or 2 years of being a health tech.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Whenever you guys get bored, just invite me. Yeah. It's fine. I'll just be like, yeah, okay, sure.
I want to hear about the journey of starting Hail Trail. I
Okay.
think that'd be a good story.
I mean, watch it be like 2 years from now. It's like, well, he's strung out on cocaine because all that.
Yeah, but that's
Don't say
that
that.
situation.
That is drama.
Don't say
That
that.
situation you're in with that group of guys is different than the regular Hail Trail.
Yeah. Christopher Allen's an awesome dude. That's who you're with, right?
Yeah. Christopher Allen, Brendan Yeager, Tony Shirley's here, and then the Canadian. I love that guy. But
see, I need to get Tony Shirley on.
Man. You know Tony Shirley?
No, we need to get him on.
Yeah, you need to get my brother-in-law on.
Who's that?
See a dent guy?
Mike Giroux. Yeah,
who?
Mike Giroux. You know my story of my half sister.
Oh yes.
We met at MTE, and lo and behold, the guy she married is a dent guy.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a weird story, but yeah, super cool.
You're full of all sorts of surprises, Dwayne.
Chris said Tony Shirley. That's who's on next. So tell Tony he's coming up next.
Okay.
I don't know, but he's coming.
All right. We'll force him to it.
Dwayne, you have a great 4th of July.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You too, Alex.
My birthday's July 3rd, so
nobody cares.
I just have a great July. Have a great
July.
July.
Call me, Ryan. I know you're gonna be at the beach. Better call me.
Holy shit. Dwayne, it's great talking to you, buddy.
Absolutely.
I'll
see you around. I'll stay in touch. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
It's a great show.
He's an awesome dude.
Dwayne is
great dude.
Great.
I didn't know he was working with Christopher Allen, dude.
That's why I said that whole group of guys.
Yeah.
The Yeagers, and then you got Chris, and then you got Corey Nichols, and like that whole group is a perfect click for everybody. It's just,
if I went on the Hill Trail, I'd be wanting to be in that group for sure.
Yeah. Well,
Kevin Bird would be like, "Come to Florida."
Yeah. Fuck. I love Kevin. I'm just kidding. I love Kevin. So, you guys, I'm gonna go enjoy my vacation next week.
Have fun. You're off all week, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Unless they burn that place down.
Try and enjoy it.
Josh is in charge, so we're in trouble.
It's gonna burn. It's gonna burn down.
Well, everybody, thanks for watching. It was a great show. I love Dwayne. He's a great dude, and a genuine dude, because he's been watching me a long time. Same thing with you. You know what I mean? I mean, it's been a lot of years of guys that have still listened to my dumb ass talking on Thursday nights. Like, what the I can't even.
You started with Chris and Dave what in 2017?
I think it was
2017.
I've been doing this shit since 2017.
That was like the first show like that,
Yeah.
It was awesome, man.
It's crazy.
But I think you're such a real person. That's why people keep watching, and there's no like sponsors or fake stuff going on here. So
we used to get free tools, but we don't get those anymore because some people didn't like the real reviews of it. So it's okay.
Yeah.
I just sit back here and laugh now. I don't even care.
I don't, dude. I think the industry's changed. I think like they pick who they want to. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's, and I get it. If you look at like real endorsements and stuff, I think it's who's going to help them. And I get that. This is an expense, man. This shit's not free.
Yeah.
And it got really crazy there for a while. I remember having a conversation with Chad from Endeavor Dentals, and it was crazy at this for a couple years, man. This crazy. The amount of money that these tool manufacturers gave away, bonkers.
Wild.
Yeah. So I'm glad it's kind of regrouping. And I hate to say this, and it's not really a negative thing. I felt like for a couple years there was so much shit on the market that wasn't tested and really true, and just try to push it out, try to beat this guy, get this tool out. It was just a bunch of shit out there.
I think that's still happening.
I think it's better than it was. I do feel like it's better because it was a lot of stuff coming out, and you're like, I don't know about this? And it would break. The problem I have, and I love all the tool manufacturers. They're great.
Mm-hmm.
I hate when you buy a tool and 3 weeks later, there's a new version of it.
Dude.
I hate that.
It makes you want to kick a, I can't say. Do you ever listen to Theo Vaughn? No. Okay. I guess it.
But, it kills me. That kills me. So, but, can't hurt on making things better.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
Yeah,
Alex,
I would never want to get into making tools. It's
no.
Like the dent business is cutthroat, car business is cutthroat. The tool business for dents is like extremely cutthroat.
Terrible.
So, yeah, it's not my cup of tea.
You have a great night. I'll guess I'm going to have to call you on the 3rd.
Yeah, you better.
How old are you? Like 26?
25, baby.
These fucking young bucks, man.
35.
I'm just an old man over here. Jesus.
Yeah. What are you? Like
46?
39?
46, bro.
I was trying to be nice.
46. I'm old.
Dude, you're not old.
I'm old.
46 is the new 36.
Man, I felt better when I was 36. You guys have a
46, right?
You guys have a great night. Alex, I will chat with you. Keep it real, and we will see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to Dent Digest. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. For more information or to connect with your hosts, find them on social media at RPS Dent Specialist and at Arizona Paintless Dent Repair. If you found value in today's episode, please share with others. And until next time, this has been the Dent Digest Podcast.